Hey everyone, it's me, Jordan again. You know what that means? New chapter time. Yep, the new chapters of Black Clover are out. So I was originally planning on doing a video on Black Clover's one-shot and versus its chapter 1, which I was planning on doing, but the chapter surprised me. They snuck up on me and they released early, I think. And yep, so they came out now, and so I was like, dang it, man. I was gonna make this video, but now I said I was going to make the one-shot video before the new chapters were out, but the new chapters are out now, and I'm late, so yeah, I couldn't make it. But as an apology, I'll review the chapters now, and I'll give you my thoughts on them. I have notes here. It's gonna be this video is gonna be not scripted, unlike my other unlike the Black Clover one-shot video, which will be scripted. And instead of a script, I have notes here, and I'll have notes, and I'll talk about what I need to talk about in the chapter and give my general thoughts and everything. So if all that out of the way, let's actually get into these new chapters. Okay, for this chapter review, I'm gonna do something a little different than what I did before. So I'm going to assume that you've already read the chapter and are just here to hear my thoughts on it. I know that sounds a little bit bold of me, but I think everyone's knows that the chapters are out, can read them, can have their thoughts on it, and can just look to my thoughts on it. So I won't be doing a play-by-play of what happens in the chapter. I'll only be saying what I need to say in the notes. I have written some pretty good notes. I think I have some pretty interesting things to say about the chapter in general. So I'll just be going off of my notes and telling you what I think, and just going over the important bits. For the general rundown, these two chapters are about Noelle's fight with her mother Aesir, and her siblings coming to help. So it's the Silva family versus their mother, and that fight concludes in these two chapters. So pretty much in these chapters, Noelle still fights her mother, is still fighting her mother. Her brother and sister, Solid and Never, come to help. Solid actually learns a new spell in this chapter that protects himself from her mother's attacks, while he tells the others to charge up a big attack ready to fire. Nebra and Solid's feelings about their sisters are revealed, and they all come together, and Noelle, Nebra, and Solid all come together and pull their magic together and fire one giant water dragon blast that destroys their mother, and the fight is concluded there. So that's pretty much just the synopsis of what goes on this chapter. But let's actually get into my thoughts on the chapters, starting with the color page. So starting with the color page, I'm just gonna say what everybody else says and say it's great. I mean, it's fantastic. Obviously, you can see it with your eyes. It looks amazing. This bi-monthly schedule has really been working out for Tabata, as each of these color pages that Tabata has released for these chapters are just amazing, man. Like, these are so good. This time we have Asta, Noelle, Luck, Gordon, Charmy, and Kahono swimming in the ocean with a bunch of fish, and it just looks incredible. Like, I love the colors. It's so colorful. I can't remember what markers Tabata uses for these color pages. I know there's a certain type of marker that gives you these effects, but I really do. But these colors are just really great, dude. Like, the concept. If you would have told me that I really enjoy a color page of just these characters swimming in the ocean, I wouldn't have believed you. But after looking at these, it looks really good. Like, the water is shining through, and to top it all off, this is a Noelle fight. So I mean, it makes perfect sense that she gets the color page. Just shows how much Tabata really likes her, and it shows, man. And there's a reason why she's ranked first place. There's a reason that she's ranked first place twice in the popularity polls, above Asta even. This just shows Tabata really loves Noelle, and we love her back. We love her just as much as well. So I mean, yeah, this color page is just really fantastic, and I'm gonna extend this a little bit to the art of the general chapter as well. The art in this chapter is also really, really good, like always. Like, I just keep saying it. I might be a broken record over and over, saying this over and over again, but the art always looks so good. Like, the fight, there's not much to talk about in the fight because I'd just be doing play-by-play of, the general, like, Noelle fires a blast here, and then her mother fires a water dragon there. But just overall, just the art's just really, really nice looking. And again, it just really shows the bi-weekly format for Tabata is really working out for him. And in the color pages are coming out great. Always, the artwork always looks fantastic. There's no rushing in there. There's no unfinished panels. It always looks fantastic. And it just, every time my mind goes to, oh man, every time my mind always goes to like, oh man, I wish Black Clover was weekly again. And the hype, I always come back to thinking that, no, this is perfect for Tabata, because not only can he have his break, can he take care of his family and be a family man, take care of his family well. He can also just bang out these incredibly looking color pages and chapters too. I wasn't lying when I said that this would be the best. But this would be the best way for Tabata to continue Black Clover. Like, this really is the best. Besides the weight, the chapters and the color pages all look great. So like, great chapters, great color pages, great art. It all works out. So I mean, now it's gotten me a little bit. It's hard. It was hard at first to think that Black Clover won't be weekly anymore, and the hype might not be as there as when it was when chapters were releasing weekly. But I'm fine with this trade-off. Like, the chapters, the color pages all look great. If Tabata can keep this up, I'm fine with this. Like, this is just fantastic. This just goes to show the bi-weekly format is just the way to go for Tabata. He really did make the right choice. And now I have another color page I'm adding to my photo gallery. Like, these are just amazing. So yeah, great color page all around. Amazing art all around in this chapter. Just truly great stuff. So when the actual chapter begins, we see the Silva family servant. I don't think he has a name yet, or at least I missed it. We see him starting to heal Nozel and Nebra, but then a archangel comes in to attack him. But then Kahono and Kyoto actually come in and defend him and defeat an archangel themselves. And that actually goes into my next notes about Kahono and Kyoto. Kahono and Kyoto. Kahono is kind of hard to say. Kahono. Yeah, like that. Okay. Kahono and Kyoto. All right. So yeah, I actually wanted to go into speaking on them next, because they don't actually do much in this. They just defend that guy, and then they say to leave the rest to them, and just have Noel defeat the archangels, and just leave it. You guys got this. Leave it to us. We'll defend everyone else. They don't do much, but I'm still glad to see them. They do beat one archangel, so they weren't kidding when they said that they got more powerful. At least Kyoto, I believe him when he says that. He was thinking that, like, don't underestimate us. We got more power for ourselves, and yeah, I believe it, man. Like, that's some insane power up that they got just so they can. Like, previously they weren't even able to beat Veto, but now they're able to beat an archangel in just one hit. That's some Dragon Ball Super tier powering up. So yeah, I think they might have gotten that power up. I think the anime had explained it more. Like they had a whole arc where filler arc where Noel went to the Seabed Temple again and did some things. Maybe they got a little more powered up there, but I think the most of their powering up was off screen. So, besides the fact that, it's kind of wild how they were able to power up in such short little time. I call that super tier powering up, like in Dragon Ball Super, where like Roshi was able to get to Roshi, even though he was like weaker than, he was like, he got beat by Kid Goku. He was beaten by, he was almost beaten. He didn't lose to Kid Goku, but, he was tied with Kid Goku. But now in the Tournament of Power, he's like, he's taking on universal level threats, he's just, he's fighting other universes who are like almost as powerful as Goku and Vegeta and Gohan and things like that. That's some I call that super tier powering up. It still is nice to see them. Nice to see them do some things. Like, they did show up in this arc. I'm glad to at least see them. And this also brings in another point. I wonder what other characters are going to show up that won't play as big of a role, but still will be kind of important. Like, from what I know, from what I'm thinking might happen, maybe Mars might show up. Like, the more chapters that release, the more I'm thinking that won't happen. Like, Mars, maybe Fauna, and what's his name? He fought Asta. Was it? Oh, Ladros. Yeah, Ladros. Maybe they might show up, but the more chapters that go by, the more I don't think this will happen. Like, I'm kind of over it now. Like, whoever shows up, and while I am disappointed that we probably won't see see Mars or and Ladros, and unless we see them in the epilogue. I'm kind of just over it now. Like, Tabata wants these characters in this arc, and he doesn't even want to pull in any more than necessary. So I'm kind of over it now. But still, so I'm still gonna be pretty disappointed when they don't show up, because they had the whole setup thing there. Like, what are they doing? We haven't seen them since the Witch Forest arc ended. Are we gonna see what they're up to in the epilogue? That's probably when we'll see them. But kind of disappointed that they don't show up to do anything. I'm over it. So yeah, just nice to see Kahano and Kyoto do some things and actually like help out in this battle. Even though it's just defeating an archangel, which everyone's done in this arc, but still, it's just nice to see them. Moving on from Kyoto and Kahano, I want to go into Noelle's characterization in this whole arc and in this chapter specifically, because I don't know if you guys have probably noticed, but she's borrowing a lot from Asta now, and that's really cool to see. In this chapter alone, she does a black hurricane type magic spell to block some of her mother's attacks, and then even says she's not done yet like Asta does. In fact, she did that earlier in the Heart Kingdom Joint Struggle arc when she was fighting Vanica for the first time. And it just goes to show that Noelle's really borrowing from Asta, and Asta really improved her life, and now she's taking almost everything. She's taking almost everything he says to heart, and now she has his drive to fight strong opponents and never give up no matter what the odds, and that's just really cool to see. And it's also kind of just setting up how Noelle probably is gonna be the one to either marry Asta or say she likes him, and then maybe Asta might recuperate his feelings. Like I'm getting into why I think Noelle will probably be the one to win, if anyone wins in this, because this is going into a little bit about My Hero's ending. I won't spoil My Hero's ending, but pretty much nothing really was resolved in My Hero's ending. Everyone just kind of stayed flat in it, and to be honest with you, I didn't really like it. Like, I'm talking about Deku and Ochako. I wouldn't say I'm like a major shipper for them. Like, I'm not really a shipper kind of guy. I'm not really like, if this doesn't happen, then this series is trash. But I kind of it was kind of set up. Everyone could see it, right? I'm not blind in that. Like, Deku and Ochako had moments, like they were supposed to be a thing, but then nothing happened. Like, in my opinion, I think, and in my honest opinion, if I could be honest for you, I think Horikoshi chickened out. Like, literally, he saw all the shipping wars the My Hero fandom has, and he says, "Nope, not doing it." So like, I'm gonna criticize Horikoshi for that. Like, at least with Naruto and in Bleach, which also had shipping wars of their own, they at least confirmed something. Horikoshi did nothing with it. Like, I get it, they're in high school, and like the series was only like their first year of high school, and then like the ending was just them. They just kind of blasted through the rest of their years, and then that's it. But like, Horikoshi didn't do anything with that. He just peppered it and then said, "Nope, make your own fan fiction, make your own fan work saying who gets with who. I'm not doing it." So like, in my opinion, that's kind of like Horikoshi chickened out, really. So me saying that, I'm just hoping that Tabata doesn't do the same thing. Like, this kind of gives me a little more hope that like that Tabata's setting Asta up with Noelle, and I'm hoping that happens, because if Tabata doesn't do anything with this romance that he's doing, then he's even more shameless than Horikoshi, because Tabata, there's only been like a couple ships in this series, and most of them are Asta adjacent, like Asta and Noelle, Asta and Mimosa. It's just Asta's harem, really. That's the joke we make, Asta's harem. So Tabata better do something. Like, I have a little more faith, because like at least he's Charlotte and Yami seem to be doing. They'll have a talk after this whole war arc is over, and I'm pretty sure something's gonna come from that. But Tabata better do something with this romance, man. I swear. If he does, I'm gonna pull him aside. And I'm gonna say, you're even worse than Horikoshi for this, man. Cause you can't just have this and then leave it alone. Like, I'm tired of these shonen authors doing nothing with their romance. Like, really, actually, no. Horikoshi's the only one. Like, even what's his name? Naruto's author Kishimoto did it. Kishimoto confirmed some romance. Kubo, Bleach's author, confirmed the romance. I can't really say anything for Oda because he doesn't do any romance. He said it himself, like, don't expect anything, so I can't really fault him for that. Well, the romance in One Piece is all just a joke, so if Luffy or anybody else doesn't get it with anybody, then I'm fine with that, really, because Oda doesn't do that. But even Hiro Mashima, author of Fairy Tail and Eden Zero, confirmed some romance. Like at the end of Eden Zero, Shiki gets with Rebecca. And that's just how it is. So, like, at least he confirmed things. But, like, Horikoshi, man, didn't do anything. And I just hope Tabata doesn't do the same thing. So, shipping war over. Moral of the story of this is that that Noel's borrowing a lot from Asta in terms of the never giving up drive, the drive to never give up, borrowing some of his attacks like Black Hurricane for her own, and just generally getting a lot from Asta, and that this has just been shown throughout the entire series, and I'm hoping that this is just kind of just a confirmation that Asta and Noel are gonna get together, or at least Noel's gonna say I like you, and then Asta will at least recuperate, kind of recuperate. Like he kind of recuperated in the Star Festival arc, but that was just like I like you, and it was more. I'm pretty sure it was meant to be a platonic sense, but I'm hoping that changes. Like more of the story, Tabata, do something with this, or I'm pulling you aside and saying and telling you that you're worse than Horikoshi for putting in this romance and doing nothing with it. So yeah, just really good that Noelle's able to get a lot from Asta. It just shows in how she fights and how she talks now. Moving on to Noelle's siblings, let's actually talk about Nozel first. And we'll save the major bits, which are Nebra and Solid, for later. But let's talk about Nozel and how in his new Mercury form. And how Mercury, now it actually confirms now that Nozel's Mercury actually is poisonous and hurts him if he coats it on his body. Which I think this is the first time that this was confirmed. Either this is the first time it's confirmed, or they said so in the Elf reincarnation arc, because that's when Nozel's powers were really shown for the first time. It's not the first time that they were shown, but I think that was one of the first major showcases of it, because I remember the fight he had with Dark Elf Patri, and so he used his Mercury magic to defeat him and stop him. I actually really liked that moment because Nozel just kind of showed up out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna kill you now," and then he just straight owned Dark Elf Patri. Like Asta and were struggling with them in their powered up Black and Spirit Drive forms, but Nozel just shows up and just destroys Patri because he had the better matchup than him, and it just shows that Nozel, even though he's not the main character, he's still a captain, and he's still a captain for a reason. It just showed his power, and I was actually really impressed with that moment. But going back to the actual chapter and how Nozel's Mercury hurts him now, it's actually pretty interesting. It's like he's got a new defense spell that's only really he's really only really known for using his Mercury, as a faraway projectile. But now that he got this new Mercury, I think it was called Silver Guardian, and it's like an armor form that armors him up and in his Mercury. Now he's pretty much, he's not impenetrable to attacks, but he's got super hard defense, but at the cost of defending himself. And he says that while his mother's attacking me, saying that that your Mercury is poisoned and it's hurting you. And so Nozel says this pain is nothing in comparison to what we put Noel through, and this pain is the curse I have to bear in order to repair my relationship with my brothers and sister, with my sisters and brother. So it's actually really nice how he said that. It goes into their regret and their thoughts about how they've been treating Noel for so long. And I'll go into that a little bit. I'll go into that when we talk about Nebra and Solid. But I'm really liking how this matches. The main crux of this fight is how they treated Noel and how they're going to make up for it, and how they're going to be stronger and show that even though they've had such a rough time, they're now going to try and do their best to repair their relationship with their sister by defeating their mother and showing that they're stronger as a family. So it's really nice how Nozel is stepping up to defend his siblings, and it's making on Twitter it made Flagoleon look really bad, like oh man, Flagoleon, you better get Spirit Dive or you're never gonna live this down. People are gonna say that Nozel's better than you, and right now currently he is. I mean, he's really showing up. Like he defeated some of the archangels, but that's all he really did. He kind of just let his sister. He kind of just let Mario Leona do the rest. So like, I'm hoping that Flagoleon has one more in him. And in fact, speaking on siblings, oh man, what's his name? Leopold, you're really dropping the ball here. You haven't even showed up once in this arc. Like, where did he go? Is he dead? I'm sure he's not dead. He's just not here. So like, I'm kind of like, where did he go? Like I said, show up, bro, and you haven't showed up at all. So you better do something soon, or else your stocks are gonna fall. Your stocks are already gone. So you better do something in this arc, man. I'm hoping. Like, I hope Tabata just didn't forget that Leopold existed, because he was a whole character. So yeah, siblings aside, Nozel's Mercury armor is pretty cool, and how he's using the pain that he's comparing the pain that he inflicted on Noel to the pain that he's suffering now is really good, and it ties back to the regret he feels as a brother for letting that happen. Okay, so with Nozel out of the way, let's get to the big hook for this chapter with me, which is Nebra and Solid's regret about how they've treated Noel for these past like how old is Noel, like 18 years. So this is the big thing for me in this chapter, what I really wanted to read in this chapter, and I think I got what I wanted. So speaking on it, and so as Noel is fighting, they Nebra and Solid are just watching on in awe and how and their feelings on Noel and how they treated her so far. So for Nebra, why she treated her that way is because Nebra was jealous of Noel. Actually, Noel looked just like their mother. So when Nebra saw her, she wanted to be like her mother. So when she saw that her sister was just like her, she grew jealous of that. And just seeing your mother died, and now your mother died, and now your sister looks just like her, but not you. That's gonna make you feel some type of way. And I kind of understand with Nebra, but with Solid, it's a little less understandable. Like for Solid, he had the same kind of water magic as his sister. Like Nozel had Mercury, just like their mother. Nebra had Mist, and Solid and Noel had water. So Solid had the same water magic as his sister, but one day Solid saw that Noel's power was just so insanely high and just all around better than his. So he also got jealous of that too. And so to instill fear in Noel, he put her down so much. He just constantly talked down to her and to hide that power. And in his words, he was happy that or at least relieved that she couldn't control her power, and so he can keep up in his mind that he was stronger than her, even though he knew that was false. Now we know the reasons why Solid and Nebra hated Noel for so long, and now we know why their family dynamic is so messed up. And while I think to me, it depends. For people this works. For some people this works, and for some people this doesn't. Like for me, I'm gonna say that this worked on me like 70%. Like, I'm not completely forgiven with them. I mean, what they did to Noel was ridiculous, but I understand them. I do mostly forgive them, but still, it's going to take a little while. I want to see them, bond a little more before I can truly say I forgive them. But I mean, to be honest, they're fictional characters, but, still. But still, we got to see a little more of them for me to forgive them completely. But it's still actually, it goes into what I think. It's really nice to see why they thought the way they did. Like at first we saw why Nozel treated Noel that way, and that was a little less understandable for me too, because he's the big brother. But still, it's still nice to know that stuff. And so when I first saw that we saw Nozel's and why he did it in the Spade arc. I actually thought okay, we know why Nozel hates Noel. We probably won't know why Nebra and Solid do. They're just jerks. That's all we'll know, and that's all we'll ever know. But no, actually, Tabata went into that. I'm actually super glad he did that. Now, when the leaks came out, this was what I was looking for, and I'm glad I got this. This is really nice, because at the end of the day, it comes down to this. You may not forgive them, but you at least understand why they did it. That's at least what I want to know. So you don't have, I don't for regret and stuff like this, for feelings of regret and why things happen like this. For an author, I think it's the most important thing to fully understand why people do people do the things they do, and they may not be forgivable, but at least you can understand why they did it. And so I think that's what Tabata did here, and I think he did that pretty well. It may not be completely understandable, but at least you do get why they did why they did the things they did. And for me, I understand. I understand why Nebra and Solid felt like they needed to put down Noelle. It may not be completely forgivable, but I still understand why they did it. So it's actually really good that Tabata was able to make it explain like this. And like I said it on Twitter, I made a post about it. Like, I gotta take notes on this because I want to make something similar to this. Like, why people treat people the way they do, and why people say hurtful things, and how and why they say those things. And I actually think that I'm gonna take notes on this. Yeah, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna see how it can warp this in any other story I might write in the future. Like, I don't think Tabata did this perfect. Like, to be honest, there's rooms for improvements for this. Like, they for one thing, they did this to Noelle for so long. Like, her entire life she got this treatment. So like, this is a little too little too late. And maybe a little earlier in this arc they could have done something like this, maybe. But like, I think this could have been done better. But this is still good, but I still think that this could be done better. And I'm gonna be looking to this for inspiration. I'm gonna be like analyzing this a lot more to see how I can like make this, and how I can turn this in my story and make any story I write in the future, and turn this and make this better, and make this the best sort of thing it can be. So yeah, I'll be taking good notes on this. And overall, I'm really glad that they're able to reconcile with themselves, and at the end of it, Noelle and her siblings and her siblings combine together and form this giant water dragon blast that just completely destroys their mother. And like, while Noelle's charging up, Noelle says, let go. You've been holding it in for so long. You've been holding back your magic for this long. It's okay now. You need to let go and fire it at full power. Doesn't worry about this. And while Noelle's charging, her magic is hurting Nebra and Solid, who are right next to them, charging with you. And so she's worried about them, saying, "Oh no, my magic's hurting them." But they saying like, "No, don't worry about this. This is nothing comparison to what we did to you." And saying that and seeing them say that, it goes a long way to me. It goes a long way for people to forgive them. I think it'll be hard for them to be forgiven, because their personalities have really only been jerks this whole time. So it's gonna take a lot more than this for people to like forgive them completely. But this goes a long way for that. So yeah, it's nice to see Tabata really give them reasons for why they hated Noelle for so long, and it's nice to see it all finally pay off in the end. Love this fight, which is Aesir, Noelle's mom, and I'm gonna borrow a tweet from Broku. You probably know Broku. He's probably the biggest Black Clover reviewer on YouTube, and I'm gonna agree with him here and say that Aesir is kind of the worst part of this battle for me. So I thought about it after I saw his tweet, and I actually kind of agree with him with that. Like, Aesir we don't really know much about her, and we don't really know much about her personality, even after she's fought with Noelle for 2 chapters, and like we've been told a lot about her. I still don't really feel like we know her. Even though she's such a big figure, we still really don't know her like that. And I kind of feel like that's a problem with the Paladins. I'll explain my thoughts on that. So what are Paladins? Paladins are normal people or dead people that Lucius has resurrected with his soul magic, and plus they're fused, and plus they're not fused, they're given the souls of purified devils from the underworld, like the levels of the underworld. They're given the souls and magic types of purified devils, and that's what makes a paladin.
And really, like, you mix, it's like a fusion, but instead of like them having two different instead of being a person, a unique person with a unique personality, it kind of like feels like they're just mushing these characters together, and it's like nothing. It's like mush. Like, I can't really tell a personality or a character type or like thoughts and actions from these paladins, and like, and I think that's a big problem. At least that's a problem with me. Like, we still don't really know much about Aesir besides she loves her children. She was really strong. I think she kind of likes to fight. She was saying how much she was enjoying the fight with her children, and she died from a curse, and that's pretty much it. Like, I don't know if that's the problem with this. I don't know if it's the problem with Tabata specifically with introducing Aesir, or it's the problem with all the paladins. But I feel like the paladins aren't as, their character types, or at least their motivations for why they're doing aren't strong enough. And like, I've been feeling this way ever since this arc started, and it's after Aesir, I'm starting to feel like that might happen with Morgan too, and that's a worry of mine. I'm worrying about too. Like, Morgan's the one I wanted to see. Morgan's the one I want to see the most, and I'm starting to be a little worried that Tabata might, not really cook with him, cook, and just what I mean by cook is like, not give him like unique personality, or at least character traits that can make me remember him, or at least remember the paladins. Because like, really, the paladins are just kind of like, like, for at least what I'm feeling about them. And I'm not the only one in feeling that way. I feel like most of the fandom feels like the paladins are just kind of like, and I feel like Tabata could do a lot more with them. Like, at least give them more than just Lucius is right, Lucius is always right, and we will follow Lucius forever. Like they're like NPCs. And I feel like Tabata could do a lot more than that. They can just make them more than just that personality. They can at least give them more than just this. And like, as cool as the paladins were when they first reduced, I feel like they've been stuck together with duct tape. Really, that's all. It doesn't really affect me too much. Like, there's this toxic toxic positivity where like, no, the chapter's perfect and everything, and like, no, this doesn't affect anything, no, and like, I can see how people can get there. I can see how people can, see this and say like, no, they're perfect, they're just the way they are. For me personally, it doesn't affect me that much. It's just a problem I've noticed, but to be honest with you, it doesn't affect me all that much. I will be honest with you and tell you stuff that annoys me in this arc, and stuff that like I have major problems with. I will tell you when. I won't sugarcoat it. Like I've said it before earlier in the Noelle section. If Tabata doesn't do anything with this romance, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad annoyed. I'm gonna say what I mean. And really, if anything else comes out disappointing, I'm gonna say it. I will say it. But even though it disappoints me, it probably won't affect me too much. Like, I'll say how much it affected me, because like, for this, even though this was disappointing, even though like Aesir was disappointing, it doesn't affect me too much. Like, I'm not bothered by it. I'm not super mad about it. It's just kind of like, this could have been done better. But if Tabata doesn't do anything with this romance, or worse, if Asta doesn't become the Wizard King, or something weird happens, I'm gonna be mad. I will say it will majorly affect me. I'll tell you when something majorly annoys me. I'll say it. Don't worry. I won't be. I'll let you know. But for now, yeah, that's just a problem I've had with the major problem with this arc and this fight in total is just the paladins, and I think the paladins, or at least Aesir as a paladin, was the weakest part of this fight. And while it may be the weakest part, I don't think it affects me too much. I still think this fight is really good. Like, I'll save that for the overall section at the end. But she's just the weakest part of it, which is disappointing. But it won't affect me too bad.
Okay, so now that I've covered everything I've wanted to cover in this chapter, time to give my overall thoughts. So if you're listening so far, I guess you can probably guess what I'm feeling about this chapter, and I think this chapter is very good. In fact, I think it's even better than the Phlegolion Mereoleona chapter that came out 4 months ago. And I'm not just saying that because of recency bias. I actually read both back to back, and read both for this video. I read both of them back to back, and I definitely favor this battle over the other one. For one thing, there are a lot more characters that play in this one other than just Phlegolion and Mereoleona. It was just them fighting Morris. And so, actually, no, it really was just Mereoleona. Really, Phlegolion just kind of held kind of just held the others back. I mean, there were other Magic Knights, but they weren't named, and they mattered, but not really. So it really was just Marileona. So with this, with the Silvas fighting their mother, not only is there a lot more characters at play that I know and enjoy, but also there's a lot more emotion to it as well. It has to deal with a lot, as you probably could gather from my thoughts on Nebra and Sala. There's a lot more emotion here with them having to come to terms with how they treated Noelle for this long, and how they're trying to get together as a family again to fight their mother and truly have that brother sister relationships that they've always wanted. It was just them facing themselves. So that the emotion here makes this battle a lot better than the Marileona and Flagoleon battle, in my opinion. So yeah, pretty good chapter. Here's hoping that Tabata will keep this up, and do the same for Yami, Ichika, and Morgan's battle. Yeah, I'm definitely hoping that, because that's the battle I'm actually looking forward to the most out of all of them. So yeah, I'm just hoping that Tabata keeps this up, because this is definitely really, really good. What do I think it has left? So before this chapter released, Shonen Jump actually released the Shonen Jump unofficial Twitter account actually had a post talking about Black Clover's talking about the preview of what the Jump Giga issue and what the next chapter would be. And to use their exact words, Black Clover will publish a new chapter with color pages to reach the climax of its current arc. And when I first read that, I was actually kind of scared, because oh wait, we're already in the climax. Wait, there's a climax after the climax? What are they talking about? Is the next chapter going to be the last one? And I was actually kind of a little bit worried. But then Shonen Jump actually clarified and said, I'm reading word for word from the unofficial Shonen Jump news account. They said, for the sake of clarity, Black Clover has already had multiple editor texts like these. The Royal Capital final fight intensifies. The final arc Clover Kingdom final fight intensifies. They're never the exact same and slightly changed for advertisement's sake. All of them and this third climax refer to the same thing. The series is in its first final arc and second final fight, hence approaching its ending. Whether that happens, gets specifically mentioned, or results in a super climax or whatever, we'll report on it. So they specified and said that they're really just this climax stuff and the climax it's just for advertisements. So really, I was worried for nothing. Everyone was kind of worried for nothing. I saw people worrying about it a little bit too, but yeah, it just kind of confirms that it's just Black Clover isn't ending in the next Jump Giga issue. No way. We still have more. The next chapter will almost confirm that will be Yami and Ichika versus Morgan, and yeah, that's definitely happened. Then Black Clover definitely isn't ending after that. So yeah, it was just a little scare, but I still think that this is still interesting to talk about. No, after that battle, things could go either one or two ways. I'm thinking that battle will be two chapters, just like this battle. The Yami Ichika and Morgan battle will be two chapters together collectively with a color page, which will be nice to see. And the next chapter after that, we will see people are talking about the Black Bulls. So I'm thinking that there could be two chapters for the Black Bulls as well. And then the final two chapters are for Austin Yuno's final battle with Lucius. And then the next two battles after that will be the ending of the series, the epilogue. Maybe two chapters for an epilogue. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So Black Clover still has a little bit of ways to go before it can end. So we're not done yet. Not by I can't say really by a long shot, but we have 4 months more to wait before the next chapter. So yeah, I guess I can say not by a long shot. We still got at least two more battles to go. 3 if the Black Bulls get into the mix. So yeah, Black Clover definitely isn't going anywhere yet. So that's a good relief to me. But to me, I also think, how long is Tabata really gonna go with this? I mean, that'll be a whole year that he spent in Jump Giga, and we really, to be honest, I didn't think it'd go this long. But who knows, man? Tabata could really just go for as long as he wants to, really. If he feels like he wants to make this epilogue, these last channel chapters really long, and the epilogue to be long too, then I definitely don't blame him, and I wish him the best. But so yeah, that's really what I'm thinking this final arc will be. Really just Yami, Morgan, Yami Morgan, Ichika and Noct, their battle, a Black Bulls battle, Austin Yuno's final battle with Lucius, and then the epilogue. So yeah, that's where I'm thinking this series will go. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what happens next. So yeah, that's my review of Black Clover 370. I think it was 372 or 373. No, it's 373 and 374. So yeah, I'm hoping Tabata keeps this up, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. So yeah, thanks for listening to me, and see you next time.